Alex had always loved exploring. The colony planet of Zephyra was full of strange forests, glowing rivers, and towering rocks. But Alex felt alive only when he wandered far from the crowded human settlements. His friends often told him he was reckless, but he thought of it as curiosity. Curiosity had saved him more than once. One morning, Alex left his small house at the edge of the colony. The sun had just risen, casting a soft pink glow over the landscape. Birds, or at least creatures that looked like birds, sang strange melodic tunes as he walked. He carried a small backpack with essentials: water, rations, a first aid kit, and a digital scanner for identifying flora and fauna. Today, he had no goal except to explore deeper into the forest than he had ever gone before. The forest was quiet at first, only the sound of leaves rustling under his boots. Then faintly he heard something else, a soft sound almost like crying. He stopped. He listened carefully. The sound came again, a small whimper, almost desperate. Alex followed it cautiously, moving around thick roots and glowing moss. Soon he saw her. She was unlike anything he had ever seen. A small alien girl, no taller than a human child, crouched behind a fallen tree. Her skin shimmered faintly blue and her eyes were enormous and reflective, shining with fear. Her hair was long and silver, moving as if it floated slightly in the air. She looked fragile, lost and terrified. Alex slowed, raising his hands in a peaceful gesture. "Hey," he said softly. "I'm not going to hurt you." The girl flinched but didn't run. She tilted her head, studying him. Her eyes were filled with confusion and fear. Alex crouched to appear smaller, keeping his voice gentle. "Are you lost?" he asked. She didn't answer. She didn't speak his language, but she reached out a tiny hand, trembling. Alex understood immediately she needed help. He slowly moved closer, offering her a water bottle. "Here, drink, you must be thirsty." The girl hesitated, then took the bottle carefully. Her hands were tiny, delicate, almost glowing. She drank quickly, as if she had not had water in days. Alex watched, relieved that she trusted him even a little. After a few moments, she spoke, but not in words he could understand. Strange musical sounds came from her throat, like wind chimes mixed with humming. Alex frowned, then realized gestures might work better. He pointed to himself. "Alex," he said. Then he pointed to her. "Name?" She tilted her head, then touched her chest and said her name. "Lyra," though the sound was musical, almost like a song. Alex smiled. "Lyra," he repeated. "Okay, Lyra." Lyra looked around nervously. Alex noticed bruises on her arms and dirt on her clothes. Something must have happened to her. He guessed she had been lost for a while. The forest here was dangerous. Predators, poisonous plants, and sudden storms were common. Humans did not usually venture this deep without protection. Alex made a decision. He couldn't leave her alone. "Come on, Lyra," he said gently. "I'll help you find your mother." Her eyes widened at the word mother. She took a hesitant step toward him. Alex smiled, relieved. Slowly, they moved through the forest together. The forest grew thicker as they went deeper. The sunlight dimmed, filtered through dense canopies of glowing leaves. Alex kept talking to Lyra, pointing at harmless animals, explaining everything he could. She didn't understand words, but she smiled sometimes, and that was enough. At one point, a large creature emerged from the shadows. It was taller than Alex, covered in fur with sharp claws, but it did not seem hostile at first. Lyra froze, her eyes glowing brighter with fear. Alex stood in front of her. He had no weapons, only his courage and his wits. "Stay behind me," he whispered. He clapped loudly and stomped his feet. The creature snarled, but then retreated slowly as if respecting his bravery. Lyra's small hand gripped his sleeve. Alex smiled down at her. "See? Nothing to fear. I'll keep you safe." The day passed with more challenges. They crossed a river with glowing water, careful not to slip on the smooth stones. Lyra's eyes widened as she watched the liquid sparkle with strange colors. She pointed at the water, humming excitedly. Alex laughed softly. "Yes, it's beautiful. But be careful, it's slippery." At night, they found a small clearing and made a camp. Alex built a small fire, careful not to attract predators. Lyra sat close, wrapped in a blanket he gave her. She watched the flames dance, her expression a mix of wonder and exhaustion. "Tomorrow," Alex said, "we'll keep going. We'll find your mother, I promise." She nodded slowly, then reached out and touched his hand. It was a simple gesture, but Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He had never met anyone like her before, yet he felt responsible for her. This small alien girl had already changed his life in ways he could not yet understand. The next morning, they continued their journey. The forest changed as they moved, becoming wilder and more unpredictable. Strange plants with sharp leaves and glowing flowers surrounded them. Alex used his scanner to identify safe paths. Lyra stayed close, mimicking his movements. At one point, they encountered a steep hill. The ground was loose and rocks tumbled as they climbed. Alex held out his hand. "Careful, Lyra, take it slow." She nodded and gripped his hand tightly. Together they reached the top, gasping from the effort. From the hill, Alex saw something incredible. A vast canyon stretched below them, filled with mist and sparkling lights. He had heard stories about this place, said to be home to rare creatures and alien settlements. His heart raced. This was far beyond any human exploration he had done. "Lyra," he whispered, pointing. She looked down, her eyes wide. She began to hum excitedly, pointing toward the canyon. Alex realized she recognized the place. Her mother must be somewhere down there. But the canyon was dangerous. Winds howled between the cliffs and strange shadows moved in the mist. Alex knew that helping Lyra would require courage and cleverness beyond anything he had done before. Yet he felt ready. He could not turn back now. They began their descent carefully, using vines and rocks to navigate the cliffs. Every step was tense. Alex noticed small creatures watching them from the rocks, curious but not hostile. Lyra's hands glowed faintly as they moved. It seemed her emotions influenced her powers in subtle ways. Alex made a mental note to be gentle and patient with her. Hours passed. They shared a small meal from Alex's backpack, and Lyra mimicked his eating gestures. There was a quiet bond forming between them, one built on trust, bravery, and mutual care. Alex had never felt such a connection before. As night fell, they reached the edge of a strange, glowing forest at the bottom of the canyon. Lyra stopped abruptly, her eyes wide with recognition. She hummed urgently and ran a few steps ahead, then froze. Alex caught up, seeing what she saw. A group of tall, elegant aliens appeared, moving gracefully through the forest. They had shimmering skin like Lyra's, their eyes glowing softly. One of them knelt, calling out in the same musical language Lyra spoke. Lyra ran into their arms. Alex felt a rush of relief and happiness. He had found her mother. Her mother looked at Alex, her expression a mix of surprise and gratitude. She reached out to touch Lyra, holding her tightly. Lyra looked back at Alex, then at her mother, and smiled. Alex smiled too, feeling a strange mix of pride and joy. He had helped a small alien girl find her mother, and in doing so he had discovered a new purpose. But as he looked around, Alex realized this was only the beginning. The canyon was full of mysteries. The alien's village shimmered in the distance, and he knew that his life would never be the same. Helping Lyra had brought him into a world far beyond his understanding, and he would face challenges that would test every skill, every ounce of courage he had. Yet he was ready, because he had chosen to help. And sometimes, Alex thought, that was all it took to change the course of a life and maybe even a universe. Alex watched as Lyra ran into the arms of her mother. The reunion was beautiful and moving. Her mother, tall and graceful, with shimmering skin that seemed to reflect the forest's light, held her tightly, humming softly in a language that was musical and calming. Lyra clung to her, tears of relief sparkling in her eyes. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He had done it. He had helped a lost child find her mother, but he also realized that this moment marked the beginning of a journey far beyond anything he had imagined. The mother finally noticed him, her eyes widening. She stepped toward Alex, her movements slow and deliberate but full of purpose. "You helped her," she said in broken human words, careful but understandable. Alex nodded. "I found her in the forest. I couldn't leave her alone." The alien woman's expression softened. She gestured for Alex to follow. "Come, you must see our home." Alex glanced at Lyra, who looked back at him with a smile. Then he followed the mother through the glowing forest. Strange plants bent toward them as if acknowledging their presence. The air smelled sweet, like a mixture of flowers and rain, and faint bioluminescent lights floated in the air like fireflies. It was unlike anything Alex had ever seen. They arrived at a village built among massive trees. Platforms floated in the air, connected by bridges that glimmered with light. Houses were woven from vines and glowing fibers, gently swaying despite the still air. Aliens moved gracefully through the village, their skin shimmering in a variety of colors. They watched Alex carefully, curious but not hostile. He felt both awe and nervousness. This world was beautiful but unfamiliar. The mother spoke again, her voice soft. You are human. You could have left. But you chose to help my child. She paused, studying him. We do not forget such deeds. Alex nodded, feeling a mix of pride and humility. I didn't do it for reward. I just wanted to help. The mother smiled faintly. That is the way of humans, yes? Brave, caring, persistent. She gestured for him to sit on a platform beside a gentle pool of glowing water. Lyra sat beside him, still holding his hand. Over the next few hours, Alex learned more about Lyra and her world. The mother explained, with gestures and simple words, that their family had an important role in protecting the planet. Lyra was part of a special lineage that could sense disturbances in nature, detect danger, and communicate with the creatures of the planet. Lyra's abilities were rare and powerful, and losing her could have been disastrous. Alex listened carefully, feeling honored and overwhelmed. He had never imagined that helping a lost girl could lead to this. I'm glad I found her, he said simply. I would do it again. The mother studied him, her gaze thoughtful. You are brave, but bravery alone is not enough here. This world is changing, and danger comes in ways you cannot imagine. Do you wish to help more? Alex felt a surge of determination. Yes, I want to help whatever it takes. The mother nodded, a subtle smile forming. She led him to a training area, where young aliens practiced navigating the floating platforms, leaping with agility, and communicating with creatures. Lyra's eyes lit up as she joined other children, moving with surprising skill. Alex noticed how she laughed and hummed, clearly happy to be with her family. Alex began learning too. Though human, he had quick reflexes and clever thinking. The aliens taught him how to move safely among their platforms, how to read the signs of approaching storms, and how to understand the subtle ways their creatures communicated. Alex struggled at first, but Lyra helped him, guiding him patiently. She glowed softly when she was happy, and Alex found himself smiling whenever she was near. Days passed quickly. Alex had never felt more alive. He explored forests with the children, helped solve small problems, and even learned a few words in their musical language. Lyra's family treated him with respect, and the village began to accept him. He realized that being human did not mean he was less capable. In fact, his resourcefulness and courage made him unique, valuable even in a world so different from his own. One evening, as the sun, or whatever passed for it on this world, began to set, casting soft pink and purple hues over the floating village, the mother approached Alex. There is more, she said quietly. Your help is needed not just for my child, but for the planet. Threats are coming from far beyond our world. You could stay and learn or return to your people. The choice is yours. Alex looked at Lyra, who smiled at him and held his hand. He thought of the forests he had explored alone, the creatures he had faced, and the sense of purpose he now felt. Returning home would mean leaving all of this behind, the beauty, the connection, the chance to truly make a difference. I want to stay, he said finally. The mother's eyes softened. Then you will train, learn, and protect. You will be part of something greater than yourself. From that day forward, Alex's life changed completely. He trained daily, learning the ways of the planet, understanding its creatures, and mastering skills that combined human ingenuity with alien knowledge. He discovered that his courage, quick thinking, and empathy made him a bridge between humans and aliens. Lyra was always at his side, laughing, learning, and teaching him more about her world than words could describe. Months passed, and Alex's reputation grew. Other humans in the colony began hearing stories about the human who lived among the aliens, who had helped save a child and earned the trust of an entire species. Some were curious, others skeptical, but Alex knew the truth. Humans could achieve extraordinary things when they chose courage and compassion over fear. One day, a strange storm swept over the floating village. Creatures hid, plants bent low, and the sky glowed with unnatural light. Alex noticed a disturbance in the energy of the planet, something he had been trained to sense. Without hesitation, he guided Lyra and others to safety, using every skill he had learned. Together with the aliens, he helped protect the village from the storm's worst effects. Lyra's mother watched him, pride shining in her eyes. After the storm passed, Alex stood on the edge of a platform looking out over the glowing forest. He realized how much he had changed. The human who had wandered alone into the forest to explore had become a protector, a friend, and a bridge between two worlds. He had learned to trust his instincts, to act with courage, and to care deeply for others, no matter how different they were. Lyra ran up to him, glowing softly with happiness. She handed him a small glowing flower, one of the rarest on the planet. Alex smiled, accepting it with reverence. "Thank you," he said, though he knew it was more than gratitude. It was recognition, connection, and hope. That night, Alex sat with Lyra under the glowing sky. The stars above seemed brighter, the world more alive. He realized that helping a lost alien girl had not only saved her life, but had also changed his own forever. He had found purpose, belonging, and adventure in ways he had never imagined, and he knew that this was only the beginning. Many challenges would come, but Alex was ready, because he had chosen to act with courage, compassion, and determination, and that choice, he realized, could change worlds. For the first time in his life, Alex felt truly at home, among aliens, among friends, and in a universe full of possibilities. And he knew that as long as he stayed true to who he was, every day would bring new adventures, new discoveries, and new reasons to be brave. His life would never be the same again,